Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're off to a city that's bursting with life history and an energy unlike any other. We're talking about Manila.
It really is a fascinating place.
Yeah.
And today we're going beyond those typical tourist spots. We're pulling from a blog post called Things to Do in Manila Festive Pinoy. Might seem like an odd choice, but these personal perspectives often hold some real hidden gems.
Absolutely. And I, for one, had no idea that Manila is the most densely populated city on the entire planet.
Yeah.
Over 42,000 people per square kilometer.
Wow.
Puts my morning commute into perspective, that's for sure.
Yeah, that density really contributes to this kind of incredible energy, this constant hum that you feel woven into the fabric of the city. Of course, it does come with some challenges, though.
Yeah.
Like the legendary Manila traffic, which has actually earned the nickname Carmageddon.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit. When we think of must-sees in Manila, Intramuros always comes to mind, right?
Right.
I'm picturing those cobbled streets, Spanish colonial architecture.
Yeah.
It's like stepping back in time.
Yeah, Intramuros is more than just a historical site, though. It really symbolizes how deeply Spanish colonialism impacted the Philippines, even architecturally. The fact that it was built as a walled city earned it the nickname Gibraltar of the East, which tells you how strategically important Manila was considered even way back then.
Wow. And inside those walls, we've got Fort Santiago, another spot steeped in history. And it wasn't just about protecting the city, was it?
No, Fort Santiago witnessed some really key moments in Philippine history, and today it serves as a museum and houses the Rizal Shrine. It honors Jose Rizal, who fought so passionately for Philippine independence. It's a really moving experience, to say the least.
And just a short walk from there is San Agustin Church, the oldest stone church in all of the Philippines. I bet those walls could tell some stories.
Oh, absolutely. From enduring natural disasters to weathering revolutions, San Agustin Church really stands as this testament to Manila's resilience. It's like a physical embodiment of the city's enduring spirit, and of course, the unwavering power of faith.
Next up on our historical tour, we've got Rizal Park. And this isn't just your average park, is it? It's massive and historically super significant.
Right. Rizal Park, or Luneta, as it's also known. It's this expansive green space right in the heart of Manila. It's a place for reflection, for recreation, and of course, it's home to Kilometer Zero. That's the point from which all road distances in the Philippines are measured.
So it's like the central point that connects the entire archipelago.
Exactly. And within the park, you have the Rizal Monument. It's a tribute to Jose Rizal, and it stands as this powerful symbol of Filipino nationalism, the pursuit of freedom and justice. Really underscores the park's significance to Filipino identity.
From one iconic location to another, are you ready for the world's oldest Chinatown? I'm talking, of course, about the bustling Binondo district.
Always ready to delve into some rich culture and amazing food.
Right.
Established in 1594, Binondo is a testament to the long-lasting legacy of Chinese influence in the Philippines.
It's incredible to think that this maze of shops and restaurants and landmarks like the Binondo Church has been a cornerstone of Manila for centuries.
Absolutely. It's a place where Filipino and Chinese cultures have really intertwined, created something truly unique. And you see this fusion, especially in the incredible cuisine. I mean, have you ever had authentic dumplings?
I can't say that I have, but it's definitely on my list. Speaking of lists, this deep dive has me craving a taste of Manila's diverse food scene. Where should we begin?
Well, before we indulge in all the culinary delights that Manila has to offer, there's one more historical gem we need to uncover.
Yeah.
The National Museum Complex.
Yes. This complex seems like the perfect place for anyone who really wants to dig deeper into the rich history and culture of the Philippines.
It really is. The complex houses three main museums: the National Museum of Fine Arts, the National Museum of Anthropology, and the National Museum of Natural History. They offer this incredibly comprehensive look at Filipino art history and the natural wonders of the archipelago.
This isn't just a static collection of artifacts, is it?
You hit the nail on the head. These museums are living, breathing spaces. They host rotating exhibitions, events, and even educational programs that connect the past to the present in some really engaging ways.
So for anyone who thinks museums are just dusty old buildings, the National Museum Complex might just change their minds.
It just might. But how about we shift gears now from the historical to the experiential? Manila is a city that truly tantalizes all the senses.
From the sounds of bustling markets to the tastes of all that street food, Manila is truly a multi-sensory experience. Are you ready to explore what this vibrant city has to offer?
I wouldn't miss it for the world. Let's dive in.
Okay, so picture this. You're wandering through the lively streets of Manila, And the first thing that hits you is this intoxicating blend of aromas. Sizzling meats and sweet and savory sauces.
Yeah.
And then there's this other scent, kind of hard to place.
That, my friend, might just be the infamous balut.
Balut. Okay, I have to admit that one's been on my mind ever since I saw it mentioned in our source material.
It's one of those things that truly embodies the spirit of adventurous eating. Picture a fertilized duck egg,
Whoa.
often enjoyed as a street food delicacy.
Wow.
It's not for everyone, of course, but it's deeply ingrained in Filipino culinary culture.
You know, that's what I love about travel. It's those chances to experience something completely outside your comfort zone, though I might need a few deep breaths before I try balut.
Right.
But fear not, dear listener, because even if adventurous eating isn't your thing, Manila has something to offer every palate.
Absolutely. Manila's culinary scene is a testament to its diverse cultural influences. You'll find everything from street food vendors whipping up those traditional favorites to trendy cafes that are really pushing those culinary boundaries. And of course, those traditional restaurants where you can savor those authentic Filipino classics.
Speaking of Filipino classics, our blog post mentioned a few must-try dishes. Adobo and, was it sinigang?
Sinigang, a true staple of Filipino cuisine. It's a sour and savory soup, usually with a tamarind base that is both incredibly flavorful and incredibly comforting. The beauty of sinigang is in its versatility. Yeah. You find it with different meats, seafood, or even just vegetables. But that core flavor profile, it's always a delight.
Okay, sinigang is officially on my must-try list. Now back to navigating this incredible food scene. The blog post mentioned a few specific markets that offer a true taste of Manila. Mercado Central, Salcedo Market, and Agbo Street Food Market.
Each market really offers a unique glimpse into the city's culinary tapestry. Mercado Central is a haven for foodies, especially at night when the street food stalls really come alive.
Oh, wow.
It's the perfect place to experience the energy of Manila after dark. Then you have Salcedo Market, which has a more upscale vibe. Think gourmet food vendors, artisan crafts, and a really lively atmosphere.
And what about Agbo Street Food Market? I'm getting kind of a hidden gem feeling about this one.
You're right on the money. If you want to dive headfirst into that authentic Filipino street food culture, Agbo is the place to be. Be prepared for a lively crowd, a symphony of sizzling and aromas, and the chance to savor the true flavors of Manila.
I am sold. This deep dive has definitely awakened my inner foodie, but let's say, for the sake of our listeners' itinerary, that we've had our fill of all this incredible food. What's next on our Manila adventure?
Well, after tantalizing those taste buds, how about shopping spree?
Okay.
Manila is a shopper's paradise.
Oh, I've heard tales of Manila's legendary shopping scene. What's the first stop on our retail therapy tour?
Buckle up, because we're starting with the SM Mall of Asia.
Okay.
The 5th largest mall in the world.
The 5th largest? That's mind-boggling. I can't even fathom a mall of that magnitude. We're talking shops galore, I imagine.
Shops are just the tip of the iceberg. We're talking an Olympic-sized ice skating rink, a bowling alley, a cinema complex that feels like its own small city. It's not just a shopping mall. It's a destination.
Wow. I can only imagine the credit card damage one could inflict at a place like that. But let's say our listener prefers a more, let's call it a local treasure shopping experience. Where would you send them?
If it's a treasure hunt thereafter, then it's off to Divisoria. It's a sprawling, labyrinthine market that's not for the faint of heart. We're talking everything under the sun, often at unbelievably low prices. Be warned, though, haggling is an art form here, and you'll need to master the art of navigating those crowds. With a smile, of course.
Divisoria sounds like an experience and a half. Now, for those who prefer a middle ground between the mega mall and that bustling market experience,
Green Hills Shopping Center is the perfect compromise. It's a fascinating blend of retail shops and flea market stalls, creating this really unique shopping experience. You can find one-of-a-kind souvenirs, bargain for clothes and electronics. And of course, no trip to a Manila market is complete without sampling some more delicious street food.
I'm sensing a theme here. Whether it's food or shopping or experiences, Manila has this knack for offering a little something for everyone. We've covered bustling city streets, historical landmarks, and the vibrant culinary scene. Now, for those who crave a little respite from the urban jungle, what does Manila have in store?
You might be surprised to learn that Manila, for all its hustle and bustle, offers some surprisingly tranquil escapes.
Oh, do tell. I'm always up for a change of pace. What do you have in mind?
Well, just a stone's throw from the city, you'll find Taal Volcano, one of the smallest active volcanoes in the world.
Wait, really? I can go from shopping for souvenirs to hiking an active volcano all on a day trip.
It's a popular adventure, and for good reason. You can hike up to the Crater Lake, soak in those breathtaking panoramic views. You can even go horseback riding around the base of the volcano.
Okay, that's officially on my bucket list, but let's say our listener prefers a more laid-back nature experience. What would you suggest?
In that case, a stroll along Roxas Boulevard is a must. This scenic waterfront promenade stretches for miles, offering breathtaking sunset views and a chance to just soak in that refreshing sea breeze.
That sounds like the perfect way to unwind after a day of exploring the city. But speaking of unwinding, we can't forget about those who come alive after dark. Manila nightlife. Tell me what secrets and delights await those who like to keep the energy going after the sun goes down.
Manila After Dark is a sensory experience unlike any other. For those seeking a taste of the high life, the trendy nightclubs and upscale bars of Makati or Bonifacio Global City are calling.
I have to ask, what about that legendary Filipino karaoke culture I've heard so much about?
Karaoke is practically a national pastime in the Philippines. You'll find KTV bars scattered throughout the city, each with its own personality. It's the perfect place to just belt out your heart out with friends. No judgment passed.
Sign me up. I'm always game for a karaoke session. But let's say our listener wants to experience a different side of Filipino entertainment, something a little more traditional.
Then a cultural show at Barbara's in Intramuros is a must.
Yes, I remember reading about that. Tell us more.
They offer these fantastic traditional Filipino dinners, complete with live performances that really showcase the country's rich cultural heritage through music and dance. It's an immersive and unforgettable experience.
This deep dive is turning into a masterclass in maximizing a trip to Manila. We've covered history, food shopping, nature, and even nightlife. Is there anything this city doesn't have?
What Manila truly has is an abundance of heart and soul. But you're right, with so much to see and do, it can be a little overwhelming to plan a trip, even with the help of a great blog post like ours. That's why I think it's time we equip our listener with some practical tips for navigating the city like a pro.
You read my mind. From braving that Carmageddon traffic to embracing the art of the jeepney ride. We've got some insider advice that will transform our listener from a tourist to a seasoned Manila explorer, but we'll save those insider tips for after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're about to unlock the secrets to navigating Manila like a pro because, let's face it, even with the most detailed itinerary tackling a new city, especially one as vibrant as Manila, it requires a little insider know-how.
It really does. It's like learning the rhythm of a new dance. You need the right steps to really flow with the energy of the city.
And speaking of flowing, let's talk transportation. Specifically outsmarting that notorious Manila traffic, or Carmageddon as they call it. Our blog post suggested the LRT or MRT as efficient options.
Those are going to be your public transportation lifelines in Manila. Think of the LRT and the MRT as the arteries of the city connecting you to all those major points of interest without the stress of having to navigate traffic.
Right.
Plus, it's budget-friendly and offers a nice little glimpse into the daily life of Manila's residents.
Efficient, affordable, and a chance to experience the city like a local. Sounds like a win-win-win. But we'd be remiss not to mention those iconic jeepneys. I mean, they practically scream Manila when you see them in photos.
Ah, the jeepney. More than just transportation. It's a symbol of Filipino ingenuity, a rolling testament to the country's vibrant culture. But I'll admit, figuring out those jeepney routes can feel like cracking a code for first-timers.
So for those of us who might need a little help deciphering the jeepney code, what's the best course of action?
Honestly, don't be shy about asking locals. Filipinos are known for their warm hospitality, and they're usually more than happy to point you in the right direction. Alternatively, a good transportation app.
Oh, okay.
That includes jeepney routes, can be a lifesaver.
Great tip.
And always have small bills on hand for fares. Drivers really appreciate that.
Got it. Ask a local, consult the app, and keep those small bills handy. Speaking of being prepared, let's talk safety. Always a top priority when exploring a new city. What advice does our blog post offer for staying safe in Manila?
Well, a lot of it is just common sense, really.
Right, of course.
Be mindful of your surroundings, especially in crowded areas. Keep your valuables secure and avoid flashing around large amounts of cash.
Solid advice no matter where your travels take you. What about navigating the city after the sun sets? Any tips for safe transportation at night?
The blog post highly recommends, and I have to agree, using Grab, which is essentially the Uber or Lyft of Southeast Asia.
Okay.
It's safe, reliable, and just gives you that peace of mind, especially when you're out exploring at night.
Safety and peace of mind. Definitely worth it. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk cultural etiquette. What are some things our listeners should keep in mind to ensure they're being respectful travelers while exploring Manila?
Filipinos are incredibly warm and welcoming people, but like any culture, it's important to be mindful of those local customs. Dress modestly, especially when visiting religious sites, and always ask permission before taking photos of people.
Those are great points, and I imagine learning a few basic Filipino phrases wouldn't hurt either. It's amazing how much a simple thank you or hello in the local language can really enhance a travel experience.
Absolutely. Even just a few phrases like salamat po, which means thank you, or magandang araw po for a good day, can go a long way, showing that respect and appreciation for the local culture.
It's about making those human connections no matter where you are in the world. So we've covered transportation tips, safety advice, cultural etiquette. We've practically equipped our listener with a Manila survival guide. Any final words of wisdom before we bring this deep dive to a close?
Just remember that Manila is a city that really rewards those who approach it with an open mind and a thirst for adventure. Embrace the energy, the warmth, the sometimes chaotic beauty of it all, and you're bound to have an unforgettable experience.
Beautifully said. This deep dive has been a whirlwind tour of Manila. From its storied past to its vibrant present, from iconic landmarks to hidden culinary gems. We've explored the grandeur of Intramuros, navigated the bustling alleys of Divisoria, even braved the legendary Carmageddon. But more importantly, we've uncovered the heart and soul of this incredible city. A city that defies easy categorization and beckons travelers to discover its many layers. So as you plan your own Manila adventure, we leave you with this. Imagine yourself wandering through those maze-like streets of Binondo. The air is alive with the aromas of spices and sizzling street food. What unique treasure are you hoping to uncover?
And remember, the true treasures of travel are often the stories we gather, the connections we make, and the moments that stay with us long after we've returned home.
This has been The Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed. Until next time, happy travels.